It's draft day, my friends. The super draft, not the sort of pre-draft or the pre-draft. It's the actual proper draft. And you know what that means. Confusion. And fun. Fun confusion. Fun confusion. Confusion and... Just go. Greetings and salutations, my friends. Welcome to episode 14 of the MLS adventure. Right, we've had some fun times. We've got a new MLS logic thing, which is that I didn't really experience last season, which is the player rights thing. Like, oh, you can't buy this player until you own his rights. So I have to sort of trade for his rights to be able to go in for the play. Yeah, that's... great. We've done some fun stuff. We've done a little bit of trading first time because there's like two extra drafts. There's like the leftovers draft and the nobody fucking wants draft that you have before the super duper draft. We only picked one player up from both from the drafts. We also promoted a couple of youth academy players, so I'll show you them now. First off, we got Justin Davis from the draft, not the youth draft, 29. He's a left back with 2 stars, but he's got some green colours like determination and work rate and bravery and stamina. Stamina is actually really important for an attacking fullback, but he's a decent backup. Obviously, left back was Gaza Strip last season, but he's not coming back on loan, so we need a first choice still. But this guy will be a decent backup, and he's American, so we don't have to worry about the international slots, unless it's decided that he's just international anyway, because you never quite know. Then we've got Francesco. These are the 2 best sort of talents for my youth team, just to give us a bit of squad depth without using up international spots. Francesco Silva. I don't think he's international. He's Portuguese, I understand that, but I'm thinking he's going to be fine because reasons. He came through our academy and all that good stuff. Look, he couldn't be more American, apart from, not sounding American and not being American. And then we've got Steve Sanchez, a 17... What's that? He's got a weird couple of little bits of hair growth. Okay, he's 17 years old, apparently. Tricky paper round. He's a sort of backup right-back option. We do have Trent Alexander-Arnold back on loan for another season, which I'm delighted about. I had to pay him a bit more of his wages, but it's still well worth it. He's going to be back up, 5-star potential. He's not very good at any of the right-back things, but he's good at heading. So, but actually decent physicals. I think he's good enough as a backup player. He's not horrifically bad. I think with a bit of game time, he'll improve his marking and tackling. They're not very important to a full-back position. It's just, a couple of fringe things. As for the players that went out, Jeff, may you rest in peace, Jeff, is dead, but he is a coach, so we will sign him. Okay, we have all our coaches. Sorry, Jeff. And then Tabakis, our third choice goalkeeper's gone. That's fine. Tyrone Mears, who we loaned out last season, 34-year-old Englishman, not worth anything. Bloom, the right backs, the old centre-back, Parkhurst, Romario Williams, and Manitas on a free. Manitas is an all-right player. Just didn't really do it for me, and he was taking up an international slot, and they're valuable. I can do better for the international slots. That's what my thinking was. We do have... So in this episode, we're going to do the draft, which is today, and then we're going to talk about, and then we're going to show you the sort of transfers from, maybe a couple of weeks on. One of whom, as you'll see, I've been in for a lot of players. Basically, I went to the USA national men's team and tried to buy every player that's in the senior squad that wasn't already an MLS team, because that's a fucking nightmare to trade, you see. So we tried to get a few players like John Brooks. He's probably a bit too good for what we're looking for. But there was a bunch of players... and one of them is coming. Keaton Parks. Yes, Keaton Parks, right? This is a little gem of a player. I'm really happy to pick this up. From Le Havre? No, Braga in Portugal. Braga. 175 grand, bargain price. He's American, bonus, 20 years old, central mid. Look at this. this is a little gem of a player. I can't believe I picked him up so cheap. They picked him up for 23. Okay, they picked him up even cheaper. But he went out to the mighty team that is AEK Larnakas in Cyprus, hotbed of football. And he played really well there. 5 assists, 1 goal. I think this is a quality pickup. As for what else we want to do, the big thing is designated players, obviously. I don't want Brad Guzan, but apparently no one else in the fucking universe of football also wants him. We paid, I didn't, this is before this game starts, £6 million for this guy. I've offered him out for £500,000, nobody wants him. I've offered him out to the MLS for 100 grand or more, and nobody wants him, although apparently he's wanted by Colorado. Do they want him just for free? What's going on here? So I'm just going to leave that for the time being, wait a few weeks, try and get him out again, see if anybody wants him. Absolute bitch. Because I think Zach Steffen can do a perfectly fine job. Brad Guzan just scares everybody when he's playing in goal, so I'm thinking we can do something with that. So, as far as the other designated players go, Villalba, who is definitely staying. He's actually not a designated player anymore, but he's definitely staying. He's got another year on his contract. All is good, and he scored a wonder goal in real life the other day. I watch Atlanta matches now. It's nice to see it on the TV, on old BT Sport. The problem we have is that Almiron wants to leave. I've tried to persuade him to stay. He wants to go. I don't know if we sell him, because it's so hard to get players in. I might just tell him to suck it up. What my plan is to do is, for the MLS adventure, I'm going to do one more season. So we've got the joys of Champions League. That's the big thing for me this year. Obviously, I'd like to retain our title in the MLS, but to do well in the North American Champions League would be special. Beat some of these Mexican bastards would be lovely. I can't even remember who our other bloody players are, because it doesn't show you at the moment. So apparently, while they're on holiday, they're not designated players, so you can't take... Obviously, Yaya Toure is our big one. He's obviously staying. Oh, there we go. DP. That's why I've got that there. See, that's why that's there. According to that, we've got 3 DPs. Yeah? That 1, 2... What's a GA? Oh, is that Adidas generation? Generation Adidas. But let's get... I did try to sign Iniesta. I had a bid accepted. I tweeted about it, all excited, and then didn't want to come. I also had Dani Alves. I thought, what a right back that would be. No, he didn't want to come. But we're trying to. So let's get on with the draft here. We have... I'll show you, because, I know where shit is now. We have Orlando City's first pick. Yes, my friends, we have the first pick in the draft. Because because I knew I was only going to the plan is to do one more season with the MLS. I was like, yeah, have next year's first round and the year after's first round, because we don't even need them. So I've been basically using these 19 and 20 as currency to get other stuff I need. So we've got a 22nd pick, which might be all right, actually. There's a few decent players in this year's draft. And the first round pick. And the first pick, even. So let us, my friends, go and pick stuff. Okay. Why is my... Go away. Thank you. View draft. Right. What I'd like to... we can do it, can't we? I've scouted everybody, people. I've scouted everybody in the draft. What I'm going to do now is just have a quick look through and add to shortlist any players that I think could go high in the draft, like we did last year. Maybe sort of limit myself to maybe 5 players that I think will do well, and see which ones do, see which ones we want to pick, discuss it, and all that good stuff. So see you in a sec. Right, so we've had a look through. I would say there's no superstar players. So I basically shortlisted the guys that my scouts, bearing in mind my scouts aren't the most, I think some of them might be actually legally blind, but I've shortlisted all the guys that they said 4.5 stars or above, and a few others that I think could make it. There is a lot of turd in this draft. This guy, let's have a look at the worst guy here. Yeah, you see, he's English, bless him. Yeah, don't think you're going to get picked. Leicester reject. Right, okay, so we have first pick, my friends. I'll take you through the players that my scouts and me have thought of. So, first up, Phil Saunders. I The trouble is, I don't really need a left winger. We've got Victor on the left wing, and this guy's 5-star. He's 19 years old. I'm not seeing it, people, but my scout's like, yeah, man, he's the shit. You got to get him. Not seeing it at all. Can't jump. Not professional. One-footed. Lack of strength. Competitive streak. He takes penalties. Yeah. No. What's his penalties? 15 penalties. Okay, fair enough. Can you take free... No, can't take free kicks. Right. So, no. Matthew Lee, however, is a little bit stronger in my opinion, but he's older. He's 21, and he plays in a position we don't use. But if we're saying we're using him on the left wing, because that's it. I like his physicals. I think that was the main thing about that one. But again... Nobody's stirring my loins. Nobody's giving me a semi. You know what I mean? Mark Camacho is a decent striker. He can't play complete forward or anything. He can play advanced forward, poacher, defensive forward. Good finishing. Crap composure. Decent enough pace. Nothing set. I spent a lot of money on this first pick, man. Next up, we've got a centre-back, left-back, 20 years old, really good physicals, like his strength, especially for a centre-back. I do need a centre-back. Good jumping reach, heading is his weakest point, but we could work on that. His positioning and determination aren't great. Positioning is very important. But he's not too bad. Good bravery, decent amount of aggression. I like him and can fill in at left-back. Ish. Simon Juarez, very American sounding. Then we've got Damien Scott, who's a left-back option. We do need a first-choice left-back, but I'm not sure if this guy's first choice. He's actually pretty decent. I'm doing this a lot this episode. Teamwork, work great. I like decision-making's good. He's got a long throw on him. Yay. Physicals are pretty good. I think he's probably the best player so far. Could be taught how to be an effective aerial presence, has to do with his heading, yeah, which we know his thing, but he works well within a team. Bravery, rich vein of form, nobody gives a shit. Commands respect, can be made a wing back, if that's one of his biggest plus points. I don't mind this guy. Best of a bad lot so far, I'd say. Because Camacho is okay, but we need a striker that's going to slot straight in, and I don't see that. Next up, we've got another left winger, Alex Rotz, we will just retrain him as this position. Decent crossing, first touch is good, dribbling needs work. Everything needs a bit of work. Good acceleration, which I like. His mentals, other than his teamwork and work rate, are pretty shit, aren't they? No flair whatsoever. Yeah, meh. And then we've got Julio Cesar Ramirez, who comes through the Generation Adidas, who's an attacking midfielder, central midfielder option. We don't massively need one, but he's really good. It's kind of like Darth Vader last season. I guess if we're looking to get rid of Almiron, if the right big comes along, we will need a bit more depth there. It's probably my favourite player so far. I think he's a really solid playmaker option. Can also play box-to-box. It says he can play ball-winning midfielder-ish, but not really. Good determination. Comes deep to get the ball, gets into the opposition area. I like him. He's the best player so far. My scouts don't think so. They think the previous 6 are all better. Next up, we've got Aaron Haim, this guy I quite like. If I'm going to go for a striker, this is the guy I'm going to look at. A defensive forward, which we could try. Worked well in my last series. He's got dribbling 12, finishing 12. First touch is only 9. Composure's 11. Good determination, good teamwork. He's resolute. I quite like him. His crossings needs to be improved, but he's a fucking striker, mate. I quite like him. He's got professional. He'd slot straight in. He's tempting, I think. These two are tempting. And the last one I want to look at is Josh Clark, mainly because he's another centre-back option. 21 years old. Scouts rate him at 3.5 star potential, but I think he's a bit better than that. Really good jump. Good physicals all round. Pace 10, acceleration 9 is kind of just about enough to get by, really. Really good marking. Positioning's decent. The rest of his mentals are like on the okay-ish side. Heading again needs work. Tackling could be a little bit better as well. Could also fill in at left back. I don't mind him. But I think the question is Ramirez or Haim, I think, for me. And so if we look in our squad, what do we need more? For central midfield, we could do with a bit of depth because we've got Almiron, if he stays, Darth Vader, Yaya Toure, and Barreto, but he's more of a defensive midfielder option. I think that central midfielder might be the one to get. Because I want to use my designated player on a striker. That's who I want to use that big spot on. Not big spot, that just sounds weird. On a striker. And we've got decent enough backup strikers like Juan. We've got Vasquez's back. We've got, who the other? Villalba can play out there as well. So I'm thinking, I think I'll talk to myself into it. Julio Cesar Ramirez, the classic American name. Welcome to the club. Played for Springfield Synergy, where he had 2 fantastic seasons, to be fair. I'm not sure how much that says and what sort of level that is. We're going to pick him. Draft him. Yes. Right, now we're going to see if my scouts have got anywhere close to what the other team's scouts have said. I'm hoping that Haim is left over, and if not, Damien Scott. If I can, because we've got 22nd picks, so let's hope. Where does it say when they're picked? Just in there, is it? Not a separate. It's probably in the general info. There we go. Okay, so Issa Dominguez has gone 2nd pick. Yes, see? Needs work, doesn't it? Okay. There we go. Oh, it's Damien Scott. That's annoying. New England, you bastards. Fair enough. Take him. Juarez has gone. Come on, Haim. Aaron Haim. Come on, son. Or Josh Clark. I don't mind Josh Clark. Another one. Okay, yeah, he was quite good. Batista. Good physicals and literally nothing else. Okay. We've got a lot of picks to go through. So let's have a look at this guy. Columbus have gone for this guy. Okay. Didn't spot him. Like the hairdo. My scouts rate him at 3.5 stars. Wrongly. Ah, man. The Man City rejects he's gone to. Camacho's gone. Yep. I feel Saunders has gone. I'm quite surprised about it. I didn't think he was that good at all. Come on, Joshy Clark. You are our only hope, Josh. Alvarado. Yeah, decent. There's no world beaters there. Who's there, really? Eric Hall. This dude. Big Danny Paul. Jason Gomez. Josh Clark. New York. Bloody New York. Screwed me over twice. You don't need 2 teams, you cheating bastards. Right. Jorge Lopez. Gavin Treadway. Mick Wynn. Henry Vasquez. I don't know why I said that with a lisp all of a sudden. Right, okay, we've got a pick time. Nearly everyone's gone. We could go... Oh, God, really? Is that the best? Is that the best we could do, people? I want Han Solo's kid, but he's just awful. But it's tempting just because of the name Solo. Right, let me have a look through and I'll come back because I need a bit more in depth. I think there's okay. That was weird. Yeah, let me have a look through and I'll come back if I can find anybody. Right, I've made my pick. It's this guy. Stephen Litchfield. I don't know what to say about him. He's a goalkeeper that does goalkeepery things with not too well. But I need a backup goalkeeper in the hope that I get old Brady Guzan. I think this sort of goes to prove the point that a lot of people said in the comments. Like when you're in the MLS, do everything you can to get like sort of in the top 5 picks, because there's not that many good players after the 5th pick. You're really picking from shit, really. Let's skip to my next draft and see if there's anybody remotely interesting. I'm quite happy to just leave it now. John Johnson. We can call him JJ. It's a small benefit, but it's not enough. Most of everybody remotely good. And I used good very generally. Matthew Swinehart. I'm just looking for funny names at this point. I think we're going to leave it. I think we'll pass. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Complete the draft. Thank you. There we go. What is the point of that then? How can you... What? Do I get my draft back? Do we redo it? That doesn't seem fair in some way. And why is he not even interested in it? You're shit, mate. How are you not interested in joining us? The champions. Champions, yeah? That's fucking bizarre. Okay. Great. Brad Guzan, no fucker wants him. Do we get the other guy at least? Please let us say we got the other guy. If he doesn't want to join it, then I'm properly throwing my toys out of the pram here. Because that doesn't seem right. I don't understand. Okay, we picked you in the draft. No, I don't want to join you. Because you were saying rude things about me before you picked me. So go away. That doesn't seem right, but okay. I better get the other guy. I'm going to be really annoyed if I don't get the other guy now. I didn't even know that was possible. Are we going to get shit? Yes, we got an E again. Because we know how to pick a good player and the rest of you are idiots. Okay, we got him. Okay, good. Because he goes on a senior contract. Welcome into the club, Yaya. Okay. Who's this dude? Sam Prentice. Why have I got you on my shortlist? You're not bad, actually. But I don't need another. Ben Thompson transfer listed. Very good. But how much is he? He's very good, isn't he? But I don't need another central midfielder. I need a first choice left back and a backup left winger and a striker. Those 3 things. Please. Nick Wong, I do like his name, but unfortunately, no. And then I've been scouting a bunch of players. Is this a different Gaza? We can't have Gaza Strip, so we'll have a different Gaza. We'll have his brother. Okay. Who are these two? Brett Dobrowski. Okay. My scouts are fucking awful. Yeah. Okay. Ian Beattie, Ford, Walton. Okay. No offers for good. Right, okay, we're going to skip ahead about a week and see if we can do some more transfers. And then we'll call it quits. I've got one big one to show. No, I showed you it. Oh, that's... Another thing, let me show you, Major League Soccer, which fuckers did he go to? I think he went to Man City Rejects, didn't he? Did he? There was a player that I went in for. A big name player that I can't find where he is. Oh, hot prospect. Oh, yeah, of course he's your hot prospect, isn't he? Of course he is. Now you've stolen him away. Who was it? Maybe transfers. Okay, it's not showing me the other ones. Filters. Yes, they've just gone. What's his name? Really famous. Iron Robin. Fuck me. Oh, he went to China in the end. Oh, they accepted. I tried to get Iron Robber. Of course, he went to China with money-grabbing twats. Right, let's go on a week, see if we can sign a bloody player. Hopefully, a designated player. A striker. A Carlos Tevez. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Has no business being transfer listed. Have you seen Brad Guzan? Right, see you in a week. I'm going to sum up this transfer window in the form of a mime. It's testing, let's say. I was excited to tell you that we managed, after I've been recording this episode for an hour and 40 minutes now. Obviously, it's going to be very cut down, but that's just to give you an idea. I thought we were going to go, yeah, but we did some amazing, good stuff, right? And we have done a little bit of good work, but it's just so annoying. It's just so annoying. I've come to the conclusion, I've done 2 full MLS summer transfers or winter transfers, and I've come to the conclusion it's a massive, big, hairy ball of bollocks. That's what it is. And it's not because of the MLS rules. There's a couple of weird stuff that I don't like, but I get it. I'm, from the comments and reading up on myself, that I've realised, why the rules are in place. I think some of the MLS rules are kind of just taken from other American sports just for the sake of it. But I also understand there's loads of rules that are in the MLS to secure the financial future of the MLS. That's why, you've got these wage caps that are slowly going up each year. They're being careful with it. They don't want it to fail. It's still a new league. That's what we sort of kind of forget in essence. It's failed before sort of thing. So I get it. The problem with the MLS in Football Manager, the biggest problem is, as I spoke about before, trading just is broken in Football Manager. It's possible to get one, but it's very, very hard unless it's like the team offering you something for something and you're just happy with it, because you have no idea what they want. I want your player. You make an inquiry and they just say no. So you go, okay, I'll for this player, and they'll just go no. For this player and my second round pick, no. There's no feedback. There's no, because even you can do trades in every other league, in all other leagues in Football Manager, but nobody ever uses them because they're such a ball ache and they're so hard to do. And because it's such an integral part of the MLS, because you can only have 8 international players, you need to have a certain amount of American homegrown players in your team, but you can't trade for them. So the only American guys you can get are ones from other leagues that have bought them, and you buy them back, basically, because then you're just buying an American player. That's fine. But any time I'm looking through the scout reports or looking through the player search and going, oh, he looks quite good. Oh, no, he plays in the MLS. And you just have to kind of ignore the fact he exists because you just can't do it. So, I'll show you the bad news first, shall I? That's the bad news. Thought I'd fucking signed Gary McFucking Cahill. Delighted. And then it says we've got 3 designated players. And I'm like, well, shit. I didn't think we did. Because we had to release Brad Guzan on a free because nobody would trade with us, even for nothing. And nobody would buy him, even though he just cost us £6.5 million. So I let him go on a free because I was just like, no, I want that designated player spot. And Almiron's gone as well because he was chatting shit to all his teammates. Morale was going down. If he doesn't want to be, he's desperate to leave. Fuck off. I could only get £1 million for him. No teams in the MLS wanted him. Even though he said he wanted to go to New York. That's fine. So I was like, okay, I've got rid of 2 designated players. I only have 1 in Yaya. I can get 2 more. So I bought one. I'll show you him in a second. Got Gary Cahill. I'm like, yeah. 21st of Feb rolls around. Get the sign-ins. Oh, Gary Cahill's been cancelled. Why's that then? Well, apparently, one of my other players I bought, who I didn't even realise was a young designated international player. This game tests me so. Right, let's have a look at the transfer we have. That's really annoyed me, that is. I'm still desperately trying to get Joseph Martinez. Since the beginning of the game, because I know he plays there in real life, so I'm like, get him. He didn't want to come for ages. Now his contract's running out. I'm like, offer him a contract, sign him for cheap. Yeah, okay. He agreed one time. He sort of said, yeah, okay, but I want this X wage. And then the little red bar along the bottom says I couldn't do it. I couldn't even remember what the fucking stupid rule was that I couldn't buy him. I was like, fine, okay. So did some transfers. I was like, okay, I think I've got space for him now. I've got a space for an international. I think he's not a designated player because he's not on that high in the money. All good. Went in for him. And now he's like, oh no, I don't think you've got the finances to meet my needs. I'm like, fuck off, mate. You're not getting a game. You're running that contract. Let's take you through the... But I will keep trying. Another problem with having this, like, finances, I've got a wage budget, right? And this is a wage budget basically for my designated players. That's all fine. But then you have league-specific wage budget and with a salary cap for all the other players that aren't designated. I've got $7,500 left here. I want to sign... What's his face called? Joseph. Where did I was just looking at him. Joseph Martinez. He's on $10,000. I think before I got him a contract of about $7,000. It's like, I just don't get it. But okay, you probably might have glimpsed it anyway. But let's take you through. So, Brad Guzan, freebie. Almiron, £1 million. He's valued at 2. He was valued at 4 for us. Just because I don't want an unhappy player causing shit. We've got a decent midfield now, especially with the new guys. Happy for him to go. So, we bought in Julio Cesar Ramirez, who you saw in the draft, central midfielder option. Really happy with that. Milton Valenzuela. I'm just going to call him Zoella. So, Zoella, who I thought, good young Argentinian left-back. That's all good. Didn't realise is a young designated player. Takes up one of my spots, which is bollocks. I can't give him a new contract because he's just signed one to get him off. Not get him off. I mean, just get him off the designated player. Anyway, I've signed one of... It's not a superstar signing. It's no Frank Robbery, as I was trying to sign, or the other Iron Robben, Danny Alves. Okay, it's not one of them, but he is one of my favourite players in the Premiership. I've said this before on streams and stuff, because he plays the game with a smile on it. He just seems to love what he does. And if you're a footballer, you should love what you do. I love him. It's Shinji Okazaki. And we can do Japanese accents now, and that's fun. I did find another Japanese player called Mike, and he was 6'5". And I've got to have a 6'5" Japanese player called Mike. Even though he was a target man, I didn't care. I just wanted him. He must be like a man like a giant amongst men. All his teammates. Hello there, little man. Like, Japanese people are shorter. Okay. But we have Shinji Okazaki, absolute legend. He's actually decent. We're going to play him as a striker, but he can also fill in. He's 2-footed, which is wonderful, nice and rare. Good to have. He can fit in on that left as well, which is brilliant. So he does all the sort of jobs. 102 caps, bags of experience, really good mentals, still decent physicals. He's only 31. His finishing isn't the best, but his first touch is great. Composure's okay. I really, really like him. I can't wait to use him. And the other guy we got, who I showed you before, was Keaton Parks, who I just think is an absolute... This was the find of the summer, winter, transfer window. This guy is going to be really good. So, but now the Gary Cahill fucking thing fucked off, we are massively lacking a centre-back. He was the final piece of the puzzle in that we have... Perez is our best centre-back. And then the rest are decent backups. He's a youngster, so he's not really wanting to play. Miles Robinson's a decent backup. Zach Lloyd can play. I'm rejecting all these bids, by the way. I just keep getting bids among bids. Zach Lloyd can play there, but I needed another centre-back to complete the trio. So, and he was the last piece of the puzzle. And now, here's my problem. Registration, if we look at registration... I've filled out all my international slots, right? I've filled out my designated players. So I have to find a centre-back that is American, but that I can't buy from America. That doesn't want more than £7,750. What I might try and do is try and trade with somebody to get an extra international slot, because that would help. And then I could just buy a player, because I've got 3 million in the bank. I could just buy a centre-back. I think that's what we're going to try and do, because if not, I'm fucked. It's going to be so hard to get a centre-back option that is American, that isn't in the MLS, that I will sign for. Oh, right, I think we'll end the episode there. I'm almost up to 2 hours of recording at this point. I will edit it down because there was a lot of this. It's not a Bible, by the way. It's just a diary. Don't panic, religious people. Right, there we go, my friends. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm very much looking forward to Okazaki. Thank you very much. Like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.